Now, as the premiers of India and China pledge peace, the similarities between the two countries are glaringly close. The world's most populous, the two are also finding hard to stick to their economic growth stories. But activists point out more common ground, a growing culture of repression. Tibetan protests, which have been denied in India, even at the official protest spot, Jantar Mantar, the draconian Section 144, has been arbitrarily imposed. Protests have been muzzled, just as labourers, factory workers, political dissidents, tribals have been muzzled. And compare this to the recent official estimate of China facing 200,000 protests last year. We ask on the social network, growing repression, India, China, bye bye. Now, before we slip into our debate for the day, let's quickly look at one of the impacts, you could say, of social media. This is a Facebook page by the Students for a Free Tibet India. Many of them, of course, have tried to come out on the streets and protest, but today they were restricted largely to the area of Majnu Ka Tila, which is really where most of them reside in the capital. And of course, this is the Facebook page that they have started. It has had about more than 5,500 likes. And Dorji, who's here with us, will be talking us through a little bit more of that. But lots and lots of activity really on that page. And Dorji will talk to us a little bit more about why many of the reasons why if protests are restricted on the ground, there is a way to reach out to people still and pass on their message, and social media, well, allows it to be put out to a larger number of people. But also, let's take a quick look at this video that has been put out today, and this was made a couple of days ago, and it is a bit of a political satire, but take a look. All right, well, that interesting video has, of course, been looked at lots and lots of times. But joining us on our show today, we're joined by Gautam Navlakha, who is a member of the PUDR. He joins us on a video call. Thank you, sir, for joining us. In the studio, we've got Dorji, Dorji Setsen, who's the National Director of Students for Free Tibet. And we're also joined by Aslam Khan. He's the National Vice President of the Revolutionary Youth Association. In a few minutes, we will be joined also by Fahad Shah, who runs an e-magazine on Kashmir called the Kashmir Wala. I want to start with you first, Dorji, and I just want to talk a little bit more about the fact that, today you've come on our show, and I know that we have taken a very circuitous route to try and get you into the studio. You were very fearful of coming in. What is the reason that you were scared to come in? And I know that even when you leave, you are going to be walking away with a certain amount of fear.
Yeah. So see, since yesterday, the Chinese leader, Li Keqiang, stepped on Indian soil, we had been doing a lot of protests, and we are restricted to do that. And it's sad that in a country like India, having democratic rights and principle, still we are restricted to do that. But from our side, Li Keqiang is nothing but a dictator. He is not a leader which has been elected by the people. He is actually a leader of the communist regime. So we made that video on social media to make fun of him. There is nothing to be fear of Li Keqiang. He is a joker. So the title of the video is like China Joker #2 is in India.
And that I know, of course, is a political satire to try and make your point, really. But in a sense, is there the whole idea of actually having to fear the fact that you are actually able to walk around freely, the fact that you were restricted to Majnu Ka Tila today, where you could only carry out a protest? And I know, because I went there was a huge amount of security several hours after the protest had finished. I mean, is that something that upsets you, that you're not allowed to raise a voice of dissent?
Yeah, see, India should not bow down to the tyranny and give up its principle of democracy. And we are protesting Li Keqiang because of the self-immolation inside Tibet. Whatever thing happening inside, it's because of the Chinese regime. So for that, no one can stop us. So that's why we are doing the protest. And as you know that there are 117 self-immolation inside Tibet. So China is responsible for that, and we are making it accountable and trying to say to the world that this is happening inside Tibet.
And you feel that India is walking down the path of tyranny, Aslam? आपको क्या लगता है कि India is walking? Dorji is saying that India is walking down the path of tyranny.
दिख भी रहा है हम लोगों को भी। कल ही कैथल के अंदर मारुति के 150 वर्कर को अरेस्ट कर लिया गया। वो पीसफुल प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, और पिछले 3 महीनों से नोएडा के लगभग 200 मजदूर जेलों में बंद है। क्यों बंद है? क्योंकि वो जो अपना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट है, राइट टू ऑन गो स्ट्राइक, वो उसको अवेल कर रहे थे, और वो उनको जेल में डाल दिया बिना किसी सबूत के। आर्बिट्री अरेस्ट्स हैं, उनकी फैमिलीज बुरी हालत में हैं। और एक तरफ आप क्लेम कर रहे हैं वी आर डेमोक्रेसी, वी हैव दिस मच ऑफ ग्रोथ इन नोएडा एंड ऑल अदर प्लेसेस।
But do you think part of the reason why, part of the reason why so many of these protests are being suppressed is to try and portray India as this big growth story, and of course not, in a sense, really be in bed with the industries? Or
those who claim growth, they must claim the killings, the tortured men and women, the jailed men and women. आप बात करिए ग्रोथ ही की, हम लोग बात करें तो कह रहे हैं कुछ लोग, अर्थशास्त्री कह रहे हैं कि 1973 के अंदर रूरल पॉपुलेशन जो है लगभग 56% थी पॉवर्टी लाइन के नीचे, और अब जो है 2009 और 10 के अंदर वो 76% हो गई। तो कहाँ है ग्रोथ, भी कहाँ है? और हम लोग बार बार मिले, हम लोग उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार से, उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार साफ तौर पे कह रही है हाँ हम लोग इनको खुश करने के लिए फैक्ट्री मालिकों को, और जो बड़ी बड़ी फैक्ट्रीज हैं, बड़े बड़े इंडस्ट्रीज हैं नोएडा के अंदर, हम उनको नाराज नहीं कर सकते हैं। इसीलिए वो इन्होंने 200 मजदूर जो है बंद कर दीजिए।